Hi everybody! In today's video, I'm taking a Palm Springs to Las Vegas road trip. While I've been to both these cities before, this trip is dedicated to having new experiences in both destinations. I'm especially interested in seeing the artsier side of Las Vegas and parts of the city I've never been before. On this road trip, I'll also be making some stops along the way, including to Pioneertown, Joshua Tree, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite national parks, the Mojave National Preserve to explore one of California's most beautiful deserts, and the famous Seven Magic Mountains outdoor art installation located just outside of Las Vegas. If you're new here, my name is Eden, and I'm a Southern California-based travel blogger. I teach others how to travel more without quitting their day jobs, so subscribe to my channel if you'd like to travel more too. Now let's get back to that Palm Springs to Vegas road trip, shall we? I started off by checking into the Saguaro Hotel in Palm Springs. I always stay here when I'm in Palm Springs because I love the colorful design of this hotel. They're also dog friendly and they have a fantastic on-site restaurant. This isn't sponsored. I honestly just really love this hotel, and they usually have really good rates when I'm in town. My first stop the next morning was to the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. I've read so many great things about this tramway, but never had the chance to visit before, so I was actually pretty excited to do this. Since I arrived right when they opened, I was able to get my ticket pretty quick and get up to the top right away. Tickets are $30 for adults, but I thought it was worth it. I really enjoyed the views from up there. After leaving the tramway, I had a fairly busy itinerary with a quick stop at the Morton Botanical Garden to see some plants. I then spent about an hour exploring the Palm Springs Air Museum before heading over to the Palm Springs Art Museum. And if I'm being totally honest, I definitely enjoyed the Art Museum a bit more than the Air Museum, but that's okay, to each their own. Afterwards, I headed out into the local Palm Springs neighborhoods to check out some of the beautiful mid-century modern architecture. You can also take a guided tour to see some of these mid-century modern homes. I'll link that down below. If you'd like to know more about what to do in Palm Springs during your visit, you can check out my next video. But for now, we're going to hit the road and head to Pioneertown. Pioneertown is a historical Old West mining town. Here you'll find a saloon, bank, motel, and various other storefronts. Pioneertown is about 45 minutes or 30 miles north of Palm Springs. Plan to spend about 30 minutes to 1 hour walking around and exploring the town. Be sure to bring your camera as well. This is a fun place to take photos. If you have more time on your road trip, consider sticking around for a while to visit Pappy and Harriet's. Pappy and Harriet's is a very good barbecue restaurant and live music venue. Even Paul McCartney has recently played here. If you have time to see a show here, I highly recommend it. Next up, we're going to make our way about 30 minutes east to Joshua Tree National Park. And full disclosure, most of the footage that I have here from Joshua Tree is actually from the weekend prior. I had spent a couple days here with my dog Melvin, exploring the park and taking some photos. Plan to spend at least 2 to 3 hours in the park, and if possible, try to arrive early in the morning or later in the evening. You're going to come to Joshua Tree, make sure that you come here for sunrise. It's so peaceful and quiet, and you don't want to miss your chance to experience the park like this. It's amazing. If you're an early riser, the early mornings in Joshua Tree, like right after sunrise, are absolutely incredible. In many instances, you'll have big sections of the park all to yourself. And the same goes for sunset. Melvin and I hung out here in Joshua Tree for a couple of hours, and we only saw a few people during our visit. Popular things to see in Joshua Tree include Skull Rock, Cholla Cactus Garden, and Keys View. Outside the national park, you can visit local restaurants like Crossroads Cafe, which serves a really good breakfast. Joshua Tree Coffee Company is just across the street, and if you stick around a while, be sure to visit some of the local shops as well. After dropping Melvin off at doggy daycare, I made my way about 1 hour north to the Mojave National Preserve. This was my first time visiting here, so I was actually pretty excited when I arrived. I just had to stop at the entrance sign to take a few photos before heading into the park. Once inside Mojave National Preserve, you'll be greeted with some beautiful desert landscapes, just like this one. The main road through the park is called Kelbaker Road, and you'll find plenty of lookout points just driving through the park along this road. Honestly, you don't need to venture too far off the beaten path to find things to see here. Though, if you are feeling a little adventurous like I was, maybe a little too adventurous, you can take this 5-mile-long, very bumpy dirt road out to see the lava tubes. This road is probably best traversed in a 4-wheel drive vehicle, though I did make it in my 2013 Fiat 500. My car was not meant for this. Relieved to have made it to the trailhead here, I made the 5 to 10 minute walk up to the lava tubes. If you walk just a little bit further than this one, you'll find a ladder that leads down into the lava tubes. Once you go down the ladder, you can explore inside the lava tubes. It was pretty hot this day, over 100 degrees, so I didn't explore too far, but I did stick around long enough to take some photos. Here's a view from the lava tubes looking back towards my car, just so you can see how far it is. It's a pretty short walk. I was pretty relieved to make it back to the paved park roads, so I got out and went for a little walk just to explore a bit. Afterwards, I hopped back into my car to make my way north towards Las Vegas. I did make one last stop before exiting the park to check out some of these beautiful Joshua trees. After that, I drove out of the park and drove up north towards Seven Magic Mountains. Seven Magic Mountains is located about 40 minutes north of the Mojave National Preserve and is a colorful outdoor art installation by Swiss artist Ugo Rondinone. The installation is a popular place for tourists to get photos and features 7 brightly painted totems made from huge boulders. This installation is located just off the 15 freeway, about 30 minutes south of Las Vegas. After all that driving, we make it to our final destination here in a scorching hot Las Vegas. As mentioned earlier, this trip was dedicated to doing all the things I'd never gotten the opportunity to do before on previous visits. So my first stop on this trip was to the city's famous Mob Museum. I really enjoyed my visit here and love learning about the history of the mob and what organized crime looks like today. To be honest, some of it will probably break your heart a little. Just a short drive from the Mob Museum, you'll find Las Vegas's famous Neon Museum. This is a unique place to explore and take some fun photos. I do recommend planning your visit for a little bit later in the day to avoid that midday heat. The next morning, I made a beeline for Mandalay Bay's Shark Reef Aquarium. This is a fairly small aquarium for the price of admission, so plan to linger at some of the exhibits for a while. Once inside, you'll get to see all sorts of fish, including jellyfish, stingrays, and of course, some sharks. After leaving the aquarium, I headed out to explore the Las Vegas Strip with stops at New York, New York, and the Paris Hotel. Also, how cute is this new Vanderpump Cafe at the Paris Hotel? They were closed during my visit, but I definitely love to return. Okay guys, I saved my favorite for last. If you've never been to Meow Wolf in Las Vegas, you need to get tickets for this. I'll include a link in the description down below. Meow Wolf is hard to describe, but basically it's an interactive multimedia art exhibition. If you're looking for a stylish yet affordable hotel in Las Vegas, check out the Nomad Hotel. This is not sponsored, I just really loved this hotel room and this hotel. Both the hotel and casino are smoke-free, and I love that they had hardwood floors. This hotel also has a fantastic restaurant, which I will be sharing in one of my upcoming videos where I go a little bit deeper into all the things I got into while in Las Vegas. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video. I release new videos every other Saturday, so please subscribe to my channel and like this video if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much for watching.